you got Bobby Petrino going back to Arkansas. I Google him and I still see his picture of where he decided to get road rash on his face with a young lady who was sitting on the B seat behind him in a motorcycle accident. Oops. Um, is there anybody in Tennessee's history that you think Tennessee fans would be like, "Oh yeah, he's back"? Any coach be like, "Oh yes," and this guy's back. I mean, I think David Cutcliffe was probably the best X's and O's coach that Tennessee's had, but you wouldn't take him over Josh Heupel, would you?
No, there's nobody considering Tennessee's breakdown right now that they would wish was back, and that includes Lane Kiffin. But the difference
Ooh.
is Bobby Petrino had the best on-field success of anybody at Arkansas. So, Dave, what stands out to me with this is Arkansas didn't fire Sam Pittman, which is, I think, weird to me and you, right? That they didn't fire Sam Pittman.
Yes.
And they're bringing in Bobby Petrino as offensive coordinator. Do you think this was an administrative move to try to work Bobby Petrino back in as head coach and maybe fire Sam Pittman next year?
Yeah, I mean, they really seem to like him. I mean, I don't know what he does that is so special that Arkansas and the Razorbacks just absolutely love. And so they brought him back, and he went back to Louisville too. So,
Yeah.
maybe he's like I don't know, maybe he's like the Fonz. The Fonz
He's
was
the coach
always
that when you're brought back as an assistant, your head coach is getting fired. Jimbo Fisher just got fired.
yeah, but
Uh,
it's like the Fonz. The Fonz was really good with the ladies, like Bobby Petrino, and he's like, "Hey, oops, I wrecked." But you still like being around him. I mean,
all right, so
everybody, all the guys like being around him. So they're like, come on back to Louisville or come on back to Arkansas and let's see what we can work out because I love your leather jacket and you're like the Fonz.
okay, so if Sam Pittman is pushed out next year for Bobby Petrino, which by the way, that's a 180 in character. Whatever you think about Sam Pittman, he's a good dude. And Bobby Petrino is just a pig and a
It
sleazeball.
is 180.
Okay, so here's my question, Dave. Here's why I kind of want this. Sarkisian loves to drink. He's in the SEC.
Okay, well, he's supposedly dealt with those issues, but nevertheless.
Then you've got Hugh Freeze, Lane Kiffin, and maybe Bobby Petrino as head coaches in the SEC. Like, okay, who's going to pull more women between the three? Who's going to have the sex scandal first? Which one has the first sex scandal?
Lane.
Lane? All right.
Was that one of the three choices? Was that even one of the three choices?
Petrino, Lane Kiffin, Hugh Freeze.
I tell you what, if Lane fell on hard luck and things didn't work out at Ole Miss, y'all can make fun of him all you want to on the message board, but Tennessee, if something happened, should hire him as an offensive coordinator.
And then push Josh Heupel. I'm kidding.
Well, no, they run something similar. They both have shown that they're adaptable. You would have the best offense in college football right there. I'm not even joking. And I'm sorry, Joey Halsley, but you just kind of got pushed up the chain. It doesn't do a lot for me. The other problem I would say is from a program standpoint, how many analysts do you have out there running around? Alabama has like, I think 3 million last I counted. And why don't you have some analysts that are outside of your coaching tree? I mean, if you want to go to utsports.com, you can look and see who all was on there, but we're dealing with really, it sounds like it's got a bad connotation. It does. It's coaching inbreeding. But on the offensive side, because Heupel believes in his system so much, he doesn't want somebody to come in and offer a dissenting opinion. That may be good. That may be great. I'm not telling you it's horrible or fantastic. I'm just telling you it's a fact, right, Caleb?
Possibly. I mean, no,
possibly. Every vacancy that's come open, he's promoted from within.
I think in coaching, though, maybe Heupel so believes in his system that he believes outside voices would just give him bad advice. And so I think he thinks it would make him question things. By the way, I got to show you this. Did you see Lane Kiffin on TikTok trolled himself for being into very, very young women the other day?
No, I didn't. Was it Joey Freshwater that did that?
This was it's a Kiffin Thanksgiving. They're doing a playoff Gossip Girl because there was a Gossip Girl Thanksgiving where they did this, and Lane Kiffin would be the one to make a joke of this. But let's just watch this real quick. This is Lane Kiffin's Thanksgiving dinner, and they put this on TikTok. Watch what the things say.
Okay, so if you're not seeing this, he's asked about the age gap between.
And he willingly had someone ask about his daughter's sex life.
Okay, well that's weird. And then he's asked if his newest girlfriend is his oldest daughter. Let me tell you something. I got zero problems with that. I had somebody at the SEC come up to me in SEC Media Days 2022 and say, "Hey, you still talk to Lane?" And I was like, "I'm not going to tell you that." And so they said, "Well, how's he doing?" And I said, "Well, I mean, according to everybody I talked to, he's kind of turned his life around. He has a new directive and, all this." And said, "I hear he's dating a 25-year-old girl." And my immediate response was, well, I mean, he's not cheating. She's not under 18. It may creep some people out, but if he's dating a 25-year-old girl, which now he's admitting to on TikTok, and I've seen pictures of him before. So, I mean, what about you, Caleb? Would your parents be freaked out if you started? You're 30. How old are you?
No, if I dated a 25-year-old, they wouldn't freak out. If I dated like a 19-year-old, they would. But like if I dated a 25-year-old, they wouldn't.
18-year-old. Reminds me of the song from Pulp Fiction, "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon." Creepo Caleb here.
Lane Kiffin doesn't even like him the youngest. I'm just going to say it. The other coach I said, and this is why I said the sex scandal, what happened to him. Hugh Freeze would have girls at Briarcrest when he was a high school football coach, when they weren't in uniform, take off their shirt and sit in their bra while he waited for their parents to bring the proper uniform, according to their allegations that are now on AL.com. Why are you wanting to look at high school girls in their bra?
I'm not.
That's Hugh Freeze. So I think Hugh Freeze will get wrapped up in something illegal again, because you know what, Dave? When you have that type of problem, that doesn't go away.
I don't know. I think if I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm most afraid of this, what Rocky Top BFL put up there, gold digger.
I don't think
that's what I'm afraid of. Is there a prenup? Can you audible into a prenup? It's okay. Yeah. Can you audible into a prenup? Listen, I got no problem with him dating younger people. I mean, if that's what he wants to do, go for it. I got no problem with the ladies dating younger men or vice versa. You do what you need to do. I remind you,
this does tie to Tennessee. That what Tommy Johnson just said. I just looked. It's true, Dave. KJ Jefferson is in the transfer portal. We just talked about Tennessee going after quarterback, so he does not want to play for Bobby Petrino, and he's got another year. And so,
okay, let's tweak over into that. The show represented by Banks and Jones, Tennessee's trial attorney, play to win. BanksJones.com. Why Banks and Jones? After the lawyers say they'll go to trial, they won't. They'll settle. And settle for less. Banks and Jones ready to go to trial for you. Truly, Tennessee's trial attorney. Why settle? Banks and Jones, led by T. Scott Jones. BanksJones.com. KJ Jefferson cruising out. That didn't take long. Did Bobby Petrino even have an email set up before he told KJ Jefferson that he wouldn't be a good fit as a future Razorback? Or how did that work out? Because
did he have his intern set up the email?
What's that?
Did he have his intern set up the email?
Yes, he had his intern. That's how he got it set up so quick. Because I always hate when you have to put in number. Remember that from Hangover? You have to put in a number and an exclamation point and all that stuff. Listen. This is one of the dastardly parts about the transfer portal, and I believe players should get paid in NIL. But there are two significant changes that were hand in hand. And one has been very good for the players, and that's the transfer portal, and been very good for prospects as well. The other that goes hand in hand that we just kind of mush together is NIL. There is no way in creation a guy as accomplished as KJ Jefferson, I'm sorry, there's no way that he should have to go to the transfer portal. But he has been told, I guarantee you, by Arkansas's coaches that he might not be the best fit moving forward in the Bobby Petrino offense. That's all you have to do. You don't get any negative press. You used to get negative press back in the day if you ran a kid with their high school coaches. You could never recruit there again. KJ Jefferson, if he wants to stay in Arkansas, should be able to stay in Arkansas. But it sounds like to me he's been told to leave. And I think that's unfortunate. To be serious for a second. I
Yeah,
know we have a lot of fun, but he just seems like a good kid.
I agree. It's very unfortunate. And KJ Jefferson, actually, if I didn't believe so heavily in Nico, if you believe that Tennessee should go with an experienced veteran, he would be a perfect fit for Josh Heupel's system. I mean, there's not a better fit out there in college football, which is leading me to believe I think he's going to USC, Dave. Caleb Williams going. I think he's going to be playing for Lincoln Riley next year.
But the rumor is Lincoln Riley's going. I don't like KJ Jefferson's loaded up. I think he's got a slow delivery, but we can talk about that another time.
System, though?
If you're, you better process pretty quick. I mean, I think part of the reason that Joe Milton struggled is he didn't process quickly and his delivery was a little bit slow. Combined, that was trouble.